So I have been on public transportation happily on public transportation since about 2008, and it's had some really great consequences. I walk a lot more, which is great. I get to read more and I write more. Actually, on the bus, I wrote enough that I could create a theater piece based on my travels on public transportation. So it has been a wonderful thing. And then last year, my daughter, she transferred the title of her car to me. And this shift, it was also good. I was fortunate enough that I could get to places where public transportation was less reliable. My social life became more flexible, which was nice. And also, if I wanted to, I could sleep an extra 30 minutes before my morning routine takes me into work because I had the time. So I appreciate that. I was happy for the time. What I also noticed, however, was, well, there were consequences that I was a little less comfortable with. I noticed when I am in the comfort of my car, my personal, rolling, temperature-controlled pod, I am a major hater. I am a bigoted, biased, and judgmental person, leaping to conclusions behind the wheel of my car about everybody else on the road, based on age, on gender, on cultural identity, whatever it is. You could slap a vote for Trump bumper sticker on my car and you would be accurately assessing my sensibilities. It's not a good thing, and I'm not comfortable with it, but there it is. And no one is immune to the way that I feel. And honestly, it's all over my face. I actually will make a point of driving up along somebody who I feel has made a particularly lame driving move, and I will give them a look like this. It's all over my face. I caught myself giving someone this look in the rearview mirror, and I was startled. I was changing lanes. I was moving into the right lane in front of a truck, a junky truck full of lumber and lawnmowers that, of course, I'm sure was driven by Mexicans. And I saw that look on my face. And I thought, who is this sour-faced old black lady driving this car? And it stopped me in my tracks for a little bit. There is, however, one group of people that includes all kinds of people that seriously get my goat. Those are drivers of the BMWs. Those folks are assholes. They are aggressive, entitled assholes. So why is my experience so different when I'm riding on the bus? When I'm riding on the bus, I'm inspired to write poetry. Yet in the car, why am I so different? I have a theory. I think my small and mean side has a field day in a car for the same reason that I pick my nose while I'm driving. I think that I am alone. Separated by metal and glass and a tank of gas, car is kingdom and it's good to be the queen. And from behind the wheel, I have a single perspective to consider, and that's mine. And everybody else is simply an obstacle keeping me from getting to my destination. And like any small-minded dictator or mean-spirited queen who confronts an obstacle in her way, she simply says, off with their head. Public transportation, by nature, by design, is inclusive. If you pay the fare, it's going to get you there, no matter who you are. I guess when we ride public transportation, we're kind of all in the same boat. And that gives us time, a different quality of time than when we're in a car. We actually have the luxury of time to focus outward a little more than focus inward. We start to see nuances. We start to see each other's humanity. We start to see that statistic, the one that says that as far as DNA is concerned, we are 99% more alike than different, no matter who we are. We all smile when we see a little kid with a backpack get on the bus, and I still see young people who will get up and allow an older person to have their seat. And we all listen in while the bus driver banters with tourists. And we also all telescope in when someone angry or dangerous or crazy pays the fare. The difference, I believe, is the luxury of time. The time to consciously release bias. So now when I get in my car, I try to remember that time, what it feels like to be on the bus, because that time is where we have time to see each other, where we have time to create stories, where we have time to write poetry. And so when I'm in my car and I feel that rage boiling up at someone who's not driving the way I want them to drive, I try to give that person a story. So maybe they just cut me off in traffic because they're late for work, and their manager told them, if you're late one more time, you are fired. Or somebody who's driving slowly down the street, maybe they're looking for a street sign because they don't know where they are. Or they're looking for a parking space, and we all know how hard that is, so I give them room. Being on public transportation has made me a more compassionate driver. And if you drive all the time, I recommend every now and then, take public transportation. And it may work for you too. Because I think nobody wants to be an asshole on the road. Everybody wants to be a good citizen on the road. Well, except for people that drive BMWs. Those guys are all assholes. Thanks, Busted.